Hi, I'm Dr. Allison Smith, and I'm a professor here at UMass Global. And in this video, I am going to be talking about CalTPA Cycle 2, Step 4 for our single subject candidates. Uh, I have on the screen here the performance assessment guide for Cycle 2, and I already have it at Step 4 Apply. This assessment guide is very important for you to use. I'm going to go through it with you. But this is a document that you can obtain through registering with Pearson for Cycle 2. It's also part of your uh, clinical practice courses, as well as being embedded throughout the entire program. So you should have access to this. This is the number one document that will help you succeed with the CalTPA. So I'm just going to go over it and talk through the requirements for Cycle 2, Step 4 Apply. You have a few things you have to do for this. Here you can see its follow-up instruction. So in Cycle 2, you planned a series of lessons, you taught them, you reflected on how it went, and now with Apply, you are going to say what you're going to do next. And unlike Cycle 1, in Cycle 2, you're actually going to teach it and record it and submit it for Step 4. So it's another video clip that must be uploaded to Pearson with your submission of Cycle 2. So the first part of the follow-up instruction is deciding if you're going to do a reteach or an extension. So if your focus student did not meet the learning goals, one of them, all of them, you would do a reteach. If your focus student met all of the learning goals, then you would do an extension. And that's where you go into higher order thinking, deeper learning about the topic, because they've already met the learning goals. So the follow-up instruction would be to extend that. Uh, you can also include in your follow-up instruction your focus student and some other students if there are a group of students who either don't meet the learning goals or who do meet the learning goals that you want to plan this lesson for. But it must have your focus student in there. Uh, so the template you're going to use for part J is the reteaching or extension activity description. So that's where you're filling out the template and you're basically explaining, uh, this is how the students did, and this is the plan. I'm going to do a reteach, and here's why. And then you support what you write based on what happened with the planning and the teaching and reflection. So you will write about that. You're going to describe, and it explains what to do with the reteach and extension. Um, and then you're going to describe the follow-up activity, the thing that you're going to do with your focus student and or other students, not or other students, but your focus student with other students or just your focus student. You're going to provide a content-specific learning goal. If it's a reteach, it would be the learning goal they did not meet. Uh, then you're also going to provide an ELD learning goal. This is important to note. The follow-up activity must include an ELD learning goal, even if your focus student or group of students does not include an English learner. So you're always having that ELD learning goal. You cannot write NA, none, whatever it is, you've got to have one. Then you're going to summarize your activity and explain how you're going to check for understanding. Those are your assessments that you're using throughout. And then you're going to describe how you're leveraging the focus students' assets and interests. So you need to be specifically building on who your focus student is. If you don't understand how to leverage that or what assets or interests, linguistic and or interest are, you can click and then it will take you to further support and explanation of that. The next is to determine the adaptations you're going to use to address focus student and the other students, if you're going to have them, their learning needs. So you are going to think of different supports that you can use to support them. And then you are going to explain why this new activity is going to address and support the focus student to either meet the learning goals or extend they're learning from already meeting the learning goals. You need to connect it to what you did in steps 1, 2, and 3. So you can't just state something, you need to state it and then support it with what actually happened in the learning segment. And then the next part is providing an analysis of the assessments used in step 1, the formative and the summative assessment in steps 2 and 3 to support your instructional decision. So you're not just making a decision uh, just because you think it might be good. You actually are building on what happened in as you were teaching. The next part is to teach the actual lesson. So you have a plan for it and you know what you need to do. Then you teach it and record it. And part K is one video clip, and you're going to up to 5 minutes, and you are going to be uploading that. The next thing is commentary. So there's a template where you then explain what is happening in the video. You have different prompts depending on if you're doing a reteach or an extension. The template has them. They are also right here in the assessment guide. It says exactly what you need to do. Remember, the focus is your focus student and supporting them. So you're going to follow that. And this is the overview of the evidence that you need to do that we just talked about. Part J, reteaching or extension activity description. That description's a template. It can be up to 5 pages. Do not go over the page limits. Part K is one video clip up to 5 minutes of the follow-up activity. It's either the reteach or extension. That's the follow-up activity. Don't go over 5 minutes. And then part L is the commentary. That's where you write about what happened in the video, up to 2 pages. It's a template and it has prompts depending on which way you're going, the reteach or the extension. And then that's the end of the cycle. And here is the rubric. It's one rubric for apply, and the assessor is going to go to the level 3. This is exactly what they use to score you. They start at level 3, that's 3 points, and they see if this is evident if you're doing a reteach, or this is evident if you're doing an extension, and that you're actually referring to evidence from steps 1, 2, and 3. That means you're not just stating what you're going to do without connecting it to you teaching and analyzing the data. And if you have all of that, then they go to level 4 and see if that also applies, and then level 5 to see if you're going to get a 4 or 5. If this is not evident, let's say you do not refer to evidence, then you would go down to a level 2. If that's not accurate in what they see in your work, then they'll go down to a level 1. That's 1 point. You don't want to do that. So when you're looking at this, I always encourage candidates to use this, read the rubric before you start writing and completing step 4, just so you know what the target is. That's what you need to be doing. Try to hit the level 3, 4, and 5 if possible. Uh, and also read what levels 1 and 2 are, because those are things to avoid. All right. Well, I hope this has been helpful. This is the overview of step 4, cycle 2 for our single subject candidates.